Hello, everybody. My name is Tomasz Bukowski. I will say a few words about myself in the next slide. The title of my presentation, OMG, WTF, CTF. Oh, it's gone. And I would like to persuade you to participate in CTFs as a, as a great value, a great source of everything. Who am I? Well, probably a few persons here knows me. I was working in CERT Polska for long. I gained a lot of experience. I'm very thankful for that experience. I did learn stuff that probably I wouldn't be able to learn in other places. Now I'm working in a big commercial company, Bank Millennium. That's why I need to wear a tie and a shirt when I'm going to the board. But it is still fun. Yeah, definitely those guys know how to have fun at work. And if I have a spare time, and my spare time is like tiny slot for the whole week, I'm playing CTF with Dragon Sector. Lately I don't have much time, but still I do that. What I'm capable of doing, I do a bit of reverse engineering. Sometimes I commit the code, basic exploitation, seriously basic, like overflow a buffer and crash the software is fair enough for me. Playing with web applications and web application security. In general, IT security, including IT security policies and this boring and soft stuff regarding security. And I'm a physicist, so basically I didn't learn everything that I mentioned before on studies. I learned that in my last 7-8 years of working experience. I know how to build a nuclear plant. If you are interested in building a nuclear plant, I can help you. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. I thought that I need to somehow talk about the subject of this conference. So basically, something called Blue Team is not worth explanation because everybody knows what Blue Team does. Blue Team was always present in the IT security world. They were defending, and we're doing everything to not to allow to compromise the infrastructure, to defend the infrastructure, etc., etc. And luckily, last few years showed that there is a need to formally create something called Red Team. And the red teaming initiative in companies is still quite new, but it is good. And I was very happy and very enthusiastic when I heard that there is even one step that we can do even one step ahead and make something that gives added value, which is called purple teaming, pink teaming. Basically, it is based on the knowledge, experience exchange between those teams. So making those teams work together gives the better value, better experience, better deliverables than working separately. Because if someone on this audience did try red teaming or like offensive security, he knows that red team, the offensive player, will always find a blind spot, will always find a weakness, and will always prove his state. Like, I am able to exploit you because blah, blah, blah. And in this approach, the blue team is quite powerless because the only thing they can do is defend, and they are not able to see the whole scope of from the point of view of attacker. Okay, what the fuck is CTF? Basically, CTF, we are not talking about Quake 3 Arena and those games. CTF is a team competition related to IT security. The basic principle is to solve a challenge. One or more, sometimes more means many, many more. Like old times, hack me, crack me, etc. This is basically similar to what we can see in CTF competitions. It can last for a few hours, like 8 hours. I think this is the shortest. And the longest few days, ICTF was 1 or 2 weeks. So there is no like general principle how long it can take. And very, very often CTF are the part of the IT conference. Most common is IT security conference. My team will lead the Dragon Sector CTF in the Confidence Conference in Krakow. So what task types can we see on the CTFs? For example, we can, the first most common category is reversing. Basically, we are getting a binary, we need to reverse it, understand the logic, and get the flag. Because the target of each task is to get the flag. The flag is, in the most common situation, a string that is saying, okay, congratulations, you found this secret that you need to look for. So in the reversing, you need to understand the logic of the binary or somehow compiled, Python compiled, Java compiled file, and get the flag, find it, or understand how to persuade the software to print you the flag by understanding the logic. The second is exploitation. It is a bit related to reversing, but you need to exploit the vulnerability in a software. Very, very often it is binary exploitation, so you need to create a shell code. Sometimes you need to exploit even the kernel on the kernel level. So you definitely need to be a low-level understanding guy to do that. I have hard time understanding that. Cryptography. This category consists everything that is related to cryptography, applied cryptography, and mistakes done by people implementing that. Web applications, I think that I don't need to explain that. XSS, SQL injection, everything that we can came up with regarding web applications. There's a forensic. For example, you are getting the image of a hard drive, you need to find a flag or some secret there. You are getting a pickup, so the recording of the network traffic. Steganography, most hated category ever. Basically, anyone here knows what steganography is? Still sleeping. Come on, come on. Okay, so at least a few people knows. Basically, steganography is hiding a message in some other transmission, like flipping the less significant bit in a bitmap. So you cannot see the difference in the bitmap because it is only one bit. And you can use as one pixel to transfer 3 bits of data. And for example, this way you can hide your data in the image. Why the steganography is the worst and the most hated? Because there is no, you can always hide something in something, and very often you need to just dedicate what did author trying to, what the author did try to do. So it is, the category name should be guessing, not steganography. The network, and by the network I mean how I made your packets. Low-level networking by crafting UDP, TCP packets and playing with the fancy properties of network protocols, like tricking the network devices by TCP fragmentation, this level. And one of the last, PPC, power programming, category for for people with a lot of experience on coding. Basically, in this category, you need to write a code that is doing something which is not standard. Implement an algorithm that is doing something weird. like very weird type of maze solving. There is also a hardware category when you need to break or make a work some piece of hardware that is lying physically on the table. And the other categories like physical security or I don't know, Google dorking. CTF types. The first and the most common is Jeopardy. So you have the tasks. You have the tasks category. You choose the task. Okay, I want to try to solve web application 100, and you're getting a task description. Please, this is my vulnerable web application. Please find the bug. Very simple. Very often, the task scoring depends on how many people solve the task. So this way, the weight of a task can be adjusted to if it is too easy and too many people are solving, the task scoring is decreased. And the best, my favorite type, is attack defense. Fancy music goes here. This is the visualization of DEF CON CTF. Basically, in the attack defense CTF, as the name goes, you need to attack and defend the infrastructure. So, in every case I know, you as a CTF team is receiving a set of services. You need to protect them from being exploited, and in the same time, you need to exploit the same set of services that is protected by other teams. So basically, on this visualization, we see the teams that managed to get to the DEF CON CTF finals, and those fancy bullets, or I know, falling stars, is the visualization of a successful attempt of exploit services of other team. So you can see that it looks cool, and it lasts for 3 days. So almost 3 days without sleep. Basically, you're getting back to room after they close the venue. You're getting back to the room, keep analyzing the code inside the room. So, if you need to have definitely a pack of Red Bull in your bag. Click. How to start? How to start playing with CTFs? Definitely go to wechild.net. It's like an aggregator of HackMe and CrackMe websites, the websites that are offering a legal hacking experience. And wechild.net is an aggregator in the term of they having a directory of those sites, and they are aggregating the scores from them. So you can, if you solve many of them, you are able to see how what is your level in the term of comparing with other people solving those tasks on those multiple sites. Definitely recommended if you're even curious how to start solving stuff without playing CTF for the beginning. So, in general, what is the profit of doing that? My theory is that the experience versus theory is something like that. So you can have a lot of certificates, a lot of medals, but unless you have experience, you won't be able to go to Vietnam and break your friends out of the cages like this. You know that guy. You should. You're not that young. I'm not that young. Polsat is playing it often. Knowledge, and learn how stuff works. Unfortunately, sometimes useless stuff. For example, something that I don't need to know on a daily basis, that a Temple OS, a free operating system, exists. I don't know if I should know about that, but this is a guy that is telling about this OS. One of the features of this OS that you can embed graphic in your source of the program file.
Okay, so command line feeds into a C.
And you can execute it. And
so since moving up is not, I wanted command history. So Control M goes to a document.
So basically, the command prompt is a C compiler. You can embed sprites in your source file, as you saw before, yes. And if you are printing something, you can print a graphic in the same way. So if you are looking for a paranoid level of operating system, definitely that's the one of the guesses. Ring 0 only, single address, like definitely something that you will use in your corporate experience. Another fancy technology is slow scan television, a picture transmission method used mainly by amateur radio. When the single frame is transmitted every few seconds or few minutes. I don't know if I should know that this exists. Like, it is not making my life better or easier, but I know how to decode it, and I don't know how to write a Python code to decode it as a side effect of playing CTFs. And steganography. Definitely, I don't. This is something that is not needed in my life. Yes, like my life without a steganography and all those tasks that I did try to solve would be better, and my laptop wouldn't be broken. I hope. Getting back to the main plot. Basically, the first thing that you learn when you're playing CTFs is that you cannot expect nothing. Or saying that in a different way, you expect everything. You don't assume that, okay, you're running, you're trying to solve web applications, so it will be web application that is using get method. No, 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 no. If you read RFC, there are 12 or more HTTP methods or verbs that can be used. Of course, you can always use a custom one. So there's nothing like, I assume that they will. And the out-of-box, very fancy name, out-of-box thinking, is start being a new normal. One of the example, Maciek Kotowicz, are you here, Maciek? No. Didn't make it? All right. Not yet. But he's a good player. He will reach here. He will talk about the log shields and his experience. I don't know the full content of this presentation, but one of the examples. I was participating in log shields 2 years in two editions of log shields, and after 1 year we came with a conclusion that they easily compromised our system, and after they compromised our system, it was really, really hard to get them back because they shut down the administrative services like SSH, remove our keys, blah, 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 blah. So in the second year, our approach, basically from thinking not in the linear way, was, okay, let's backdoor everything. Maciek wrote a great SSL-based, certificate-based backdoor. We placed it almost everywhere when we could. And if they manage to compromise, they take over our infrastructure, we use this backdoor because to take it back. It was very, very funny because when we attend the summary in the Tallinn, when all the teams and the NATO guys gather and was talking about, okay, how did you deal with those type of attacks, blah, blah, blah. We say, okay, one of our core solution that keep us in the game was to backdoor everything. And those guys were said, but you cannot do that. And I say, why you cannot do that? You didn't forbid that. This is a feature, not a bug. And everybody except the organizers give us, okay, definitely good idea, we'll use it in the next edition. Next thing, you learn to adapt. You learn to evolve, you learn to make things happen, make things faster. You learn to botch. Definitely one of the best words that I know in English, botch. And anybody here knows what botch means? Seriously, if anybody knows, I didn't. My colleague taught me half a year ago what is that. This is an urban definitely. This means to do stuff MacGyver way. And let me explain you.
A lot of techies are surprised when I say I mostly use Windows. Why would anyone who writes code and edits video use Windows? Two reasons. One, it's cheaper. And two, it lets me bodge. So sit back, because yes, I'll tell you how I made the emoji keyboard, but more importantly, I will tell you about the art of the bodge. Bodging is a wonderful British word that means to patch together, to make temporary repairs. A bodge is clumsy, it's inelegant, it'll fall apart, but it'll work. And it'll keep working as long as there's someone around to bodge it again if it breaks. You know that bit in Apollo 13 where they have to fit the square peg in the round hole? That is a bodge. Actually, that's possibly the greatest bodge in human history. In fact, if you can think of a better one, let me know in the comments, because there's probably a book on great bodges of history to be written there, and I'd quite like to be the one to write it. Anyway, bodging has always sort of been how I make things. I didn't study computer science. I'm not writing elegant solutions here. I patch things together.
Okay, this is a really long video, and the guy here probably will show me how many times I got left soon. So I will tell you, this guy came with the idea that he will plug all those keyboards to a single computer to achieve the functionality. So on every single key on those keyboards is different emoticon. And if he presses this emoticon, the emoticon will be typed on the laptop. So he has, I don't know, 12 keyboards times 100 keys means that 1020 different emoji can be typed in directly to his laptop. And he did that on Windows. And definitely you can watch it later offline, but came to conclusion, 15, blah, 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 somewhere here. He is explaining how he achieved that.
Yeah, that wasn't just a pointless ramble about bodging earlier with AutoHotkey. AutoHotkey, because it can't tell which keyboard is being pressed, but that doesn't matter. What it can do is type emoji. It can look down the list of emoji. It can read a particular character from a line, and it can enter it anywhere, because it doesn't use key presses. It uses low-level Windows stuff. So I have one program, Lua Macros. It can read the keyboards and work out which emoji the user wants. And I have one program that, if we already know which emoji the user wants, can type it. So it was bodging time. Here's how this keyboard works. You press a key. Lua Macros intercepts it on the way in, stops Windows actually typing the letter or whatever's underneath it. It works out which number emoji you want, and it saves that number to a file on disk. Then it presses the F24 key. That's right, there's an F24 key. It's not on my keyboard, it's almost certainly not on your keyboard, but it's still a key that Windows can deal with because backwards compatibility. And AutoHotkey is listening for that F24 key, and when it hears it, it reads that same file, the file that Lua Macros just put the number in. It reads that number, it looks down the list of emoji, and it types that emoji. That is how the emoji keyboard works. That's why I use Windows, and that is the art of the bodge. One take.
Congratulate to that guy. Yes, he definitely win the anti-Nobel Prize by saving a character that he want to write in the text file. They definitely are one of the best bodging example. And you learn how to do that. Yes, you learn how to make things happen. Completely don't matter how, but things are working. They will break at some point of time, but you will be able to type emoticons. Okay. What is the, in general, relation between CTF and red, blue, purple teaming? I need to hurry up. In general, the CTF team purpose is having fun. And of course, having fun means satisfaction. But unluckily, in terms of CTF, it means also irritation, frustration, and fatigue. So you need to be ready to have fun in this way. You are able to learn more, you are able to compete, you are able to be challenged and to challenge someone, to meet new people, to meet new technology. The blue team purpose is to defend, to protect, to detect, to watch. Boring. Red team purpose is to attack, to identify the weakness, to exploit, penetrate. But if they come together, the purple team purpose is to identify the weakness, to learn more, to challenge, to improve, to enhance. So basically, it's overlap with the CTF team experience. And that's why I want to persuade you to participate in CTF if you are thinking about red, blue, purple teaming. The team experience that example, the DEF CON CTF, attack defense. There was no one in charge except official captain, but the captains are not claiming their right to order someone to do something. Automatic role assignment. We have 8 people and we need to do our best to win or try to win this competition. So there is nothing like, okay, you need to do that because I'm telling you to do that. The role assignment is done automatically. First, infrastructure, service monitoring, network monitoring, and traffic analysis, reverse engineering, exploiting, automatization of the exploiting process, patching, so making exploit not work. And it works. We were able to automatically split the responsibility of those 8 people into those categories. I was responsible for monitoring and pickup analysis, so I was extracting existing exploits from pickup, providing them to team that it was reversing and owning, and they were tuning it up. I was also providing it to a team that was patching, and it works like in a clockwork perfectly. 3 days in a row, almost 12 or more hours per day, and without the manager, without a salary, or without all those corporate bullshit, magically works. Use cases. So my favorite tasks, including not paranoid, the cool ones. First, from the previous summer. My favorite category is steganography, of course. Task description. We found this GIF. Get the flag. You see? There was a text blinking on one slide. Definitely the first conclusion is, okay, someone scattered, transpose the original image using some kind of matrix transpose or something like that. If you know mathematics, you know what is a matrix transformation. Let's approach this manually. I extracted a single frame, use a professional tool to achieve that. I was able to pick something that looks like letter and was able to see like Mike Diva. Okay, I combined the name aesthetic with Mike Diva on Google and I found that. That is something that I keep playing every week since last half of a year. And you definitely want to see that. It will get better. That's the secret why he won the election. Having this kind of advertisement, definitely our political party will win the election, 100%. So I found that. I translate this video to GIF image to extract the frames. Okay, we're ready, but still, we need to do something to get the flag. So I wrote a JavaScript code that is loading 2 images, 2 frames, and trying one title by one title to fit it to an image to get the translation matrix. I mute the sound. So basically, down here you see how the translation should go, what title should go where, and it is fully written in JavaScript. So we learn how to program in the same time how to use images. And if you scroll it forward a bit, where's my mouse? Yes, here. If you scroll it forward, it's pretty long. You can see that this code is doing pretty well. Fair enough for the piece of code in JavaScript, yeah? So after a single round, we are getting a matrix of transformation, and we can apply this transformation to every single frame of this GIF, and receive the GIF with a flag, and after in the few frames of this GIF, there's a flag, the secret message, that is overlapping the original beautiful video. Worth doing, definitely. Task, Happy Girls Day. The task that I didn't even see on my eyes, but the way that it was done by my team, this is the most impressive thing in the computer technology that I ever saw. So basically, you were having a binary file and TCP port. If you look at the binary file, there is nothing. You have some strings inside, but this is garbage if you look at it. There is no PE, it is not ELF, Linux ELF, this is some kind of the code. So I asked Redford, my friend from the team, how did you manage to do this task? So basically, no architecture info, Googling gigs, nothing. So he tried to blindly reverse engineer that by not knowing the architecture. Yes, he did that. So he found a large implementation of print without not knowing the assembly language of this binary file, and came with a conclusion that, okay, the C compiler should exist because there is a print implemented on this architecture. Yes. So anyway, using this unknown architecture, he was able to find a bug in the code that he didn't understand, and achieved the code execution with a rope because there was an execution protection on these platforms. So anyway, the level of abstraction below my imagination. Another fancy task. This proves how you manage to learn a new technology or new existing technology. The task was, okay, NSA hacked my super secret login. You have the pickup file, and you open the pickup file and see the only things you see that, okay, this is a pickup from USB, not from a network. And you need to deal with that. So basically, you read a ton of text specs and learn that this is the pickup from human interface device from the mouse movement. So you, after a few hours of reading text specs and writing code, you are able to visualize the clicks, and you see that this is a screen keyboard, a poor quality of image. So you are mapping just the clicks to keystrokes, and you cannot see that here. Sorry, but you are getting the plain text, what was typed using this keyboard. And this way you learn how the USB human interface device wireless mouse works. You can apply that if you want to spy a friend that is using a USB mouse, you can do that. I already have a working Python code. Another task, Mumble. I was not even in the Dragon Sector team when they did solve that. This is stolen from Ginwell slides with his permission. So we intercepted encrypted voice chat. Mumble is something like TeamSpeak, Skype, for voice transmission, and it is really well encrypted using TLS. So the first approach that I know that they did was, okay, well, let's find a weakness in an encryption. But wait, it is 100-point tasks. It should be easy. And after Ginwell told me that it is one of the most hated tasks he did. But because the solution, this is the entropy, there was no entry point on this task, easy to spot. But when you visualize the number of bits per second that was transmitted, it was looking that way. So yes, side channel attack through variable bitrate in encrypted sound transmission. You learn how to hack VoIP encrypted that way. Cool. A cable guy, example of tasks that was simulating the physics. Basically, the description was that you have access to a wire that was cut in the middle, and you have five wires in total. 5 wires on each side, so 10 wires in total. And you can apply a probe between two pair and put a current, put a voltage into a single wire and see the response. So basically a really physical challenge. You need to understand how physical cable protocols work. This is the visualization. 2 direction of the wire. The wire names was A0 to B4, and you can apply the probe somewhere between. So basically the first idea is to probe everything. Then you see that between A3 and A4 there's some signal or something like that. And then if you understand physical protocols enough, you are getting a bit by bit decoding using RS232 protocol. Like they definitely should teach that in elementary school, because if you see that, you definitely know that this. You see a parity bit here, easy to spot. More and more tasks. I don't have more time because I could be talking about that for hours. My favorite task. In 2013, there was a Ghost in the Shellcode competition, and every task was based on the massive multiplying online role-playing game that they create explicitly for the purpose of this competition. And one of the tasks was that you need to open a box. It sounds easy, but opening box take 4 minutes. And after 3 minutes, all the bears that were running around the box were standing up, picking up machine gun and shooting you. And the solution was that you will patch a game client, so you reverse it, patch it to cheat, and the patch consists improving the wine effect. So there was a wine that you can drink in the game, so the cheat consists that the wine gives you 100 ability to resist 100% of the damage. Another fancy task, old Nokia 3310 simulator over Telnet. So you connect over TCP port and receive the ASCII graphic of the pixel by pixel of the Nokia 3310, and you need to exploit 2 CPUs, because there was one CPU was running a code, and the second CPU baseband CPU was responsible for receiving SMSs. So you have to understand the architecture, the correlation between those components, and more and more and more and more. So thanks very much. I hope I didn't make a bad impression on CTFs. Definitely you can find cool tasks there, learn a lot, meet people, and have fun, sometimes with irritation.